Hello world, I am Luis Velasquez. I live in the city of Cuenca, Ecuador, and I run this channel, which is Village Tours channel, the tour operator located in Ecuador. However, this video is not about tourism. This video is to talk about something that happened just yesterday, Saturday, March 18, and that many of you may have seen on the news, a very sad event, which is the earthquake. But I will also express what I feel about what happened. I am making this video because many of you have written me. I appreciate your concern. I appreciate that you have taken the time to see how things were here, how I and my family were. That's highly appreciated. But I'm also concerned about how the event yesterday was treated on social media. And that is what I'm going to talk about in this video. So having that said, thank you very much. Let's start. It is Sunday, March 19, and the situation in Cuenca is pretty normal. Actually, it is normal. Look. This is Cuenca. In Machala, there were more affected structures. So yeah, the situation there is different. Also, the death toll is of 12 people. Here in Cuenca Canton, there were 2 dead people. One in the historic district in this area, that is just 3 streets away from here, and one in the Moyeturo area, beyond the Cajas National Park, very far from here, from the urban area of the city. I won't tell you that nothing happened, because something happened. We're talking about 14 lives that ended, and it's very sad. But I wanted to make this video to tell you that not all that you see on social media, it is not the way they want you to believe it is. There is a lot of sensationalism because we are in the age of social media. Sensationalist news bring more views, more engagement, likes, so you can promote your brand better, hold more people, retain more people. I'm doing a little bit of that because that's the way things work on social media. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. I would really like to simply tell you things and that people watch me, but social media algorithms are made in a way that you have to create engagement, and brands, big companies, news, media know that. So that's why they cause this type of news. We have to be very careful. Things happen, but not at the big level, because I saw many international channels showing this. Yes, we are afraid because of what happened in 2016 with a big earthquake in Esmeraldas and Manabí provinces. And it was felt here as well. There were thousands of affected people. But this time it is not being the same, and yeah, many people were really afraid because we still have this in our mind of what happened that time. But the situation is not the same. Hopefully it remains like that only it was this big panic, big fear, and we don't suffer any other thing. Ecuador is in the area of the Ring of Fire of the Pacific, so it is very likely that earthquakes happen here frequently. And it's actually quite common to feel tremors, but that we have earthquakes that affect many things and structures and that cause many deaths, that's not very common. Many people shared what happened here in the historic district of Cuenca, and this was in many channels of the world. I was like, wow. Yeah, there were many shocking images, especially coming from Machala, like this one. Or many clips also shocking from what happened there. Because serious things happen. However, I'm making this video to reflect about what we see on the internet. Many things are happening. Many bad things are happening in this country, for example. But one thing is what you see on the news, and another thing is what you live here. These are two very different things. A couple of weeks ago we had strong rains in the cities of Guayaquil, in the provinces of Manabí and Los Rios. But many more strong rains will continue, but the world didn't know about this, and it has affected many people as well, and many more structures than even this earthquake. Hopefully we don't have to talk about this, but now at this moment many roads throughout all of the country are blocked because of landslides, and the world's not talking about this, and this is also affecting. If you have friends here, you will speak with them and they will tell you that it was just big panic that they had, but the situation here is now normal. The Ecuadorian government has some protocols to follow in case of emergencies. They activated these protocols once there was this earthquake because they had to analyze first the structures, if maybe there was going to be another replicas, and so far nothing else happened. Well, talking about the natural disasters that happen here in Ecuador frequently, there are two things you may be concerned about. Earthquakes, especially in the coastal region, and the volcanoes in the Andes. The volcanoes are constantly monitored. For example, at this time you have the Cotopaxi volcano throwing smoke, ashes since a while ago, but it is being 24 hours monitored. There are emergency systems that are tracking this and sharing the information on the internet, especially on Twitter. We cannot predict earthquakes, we know that, but we have a system in case something happens. What about the constructions? Are they safe? Well, here in the Andes, since we are high also, and tremors are not that infrequent, that uncommon, you have constructions that have been built in a way that they can endure the earthquakes. In the coastal region, where the structures are the most affected, like Manabí, Esmeraldas, or now in Machala, this happens. The areas that are the most affected are because the constructions there are more informal, more recent. There were invasions in many areas, the constructions were not controlled, there were not regulations there, so there wasn't too much of anti-seismic measures taken. Of course, modern hotels, like large structures, they will be more protected because they are regulated with different measures. Should you be worried, should you be concerned about coming? Well, everywhere there is a risk of something. There are risks of tsunamis in Japan, there are risks of floods in Miami. At least in the Andes, I wouldn't be afraid. Actually, I'm not afraid. In the coastal region, maybe, depending on where exactly I go. But I would try to always have at hand the numbers of the people who share the alerts. Also, if you work with official tour operators, certified hotels, they will be prepared for this because they receive constant training in the areas that may be affected by tsunamis, earthquakes. They are being trained all the time to know how to react before these events. Many of you may have seen this video already. What do you see in this video? You can see the consequences of an earthquake. All the street is full of rocks and there is a car that is smashed or hit by the rocks. Now, many people wrote me like, I saw the streets of Cuenca, a house fell on the car, how are you? Many people were worried, and I appreciate that. I appreciate those of you who wrote me. However, even when I saw the videos, I was like shocked, and because I wasn't here, I called my family. And I am at the street where that video was recorded. That happened here. You can see here the oil of the car that was smashed by the rocks, and those rocks come from this rooftop here. They fell. They were like this, like most houses here. It fell, and there was a car at that moment here, and unfortunately there is one person who died. I won't tell you that nothing happened, because yes, this was the life of one person. In Cuenca, in the rural area, there was another person who died by a landslide. However, the images shown on the internet and what was broadcasted by many news channels was like, in Ecuador, in Cuenca, this is happening. And yes, things happen, but as you see, they even cleaned the rocks. There's not any trace besides that and this of what happened. And again, I'm not telling you that nothing happened, but I'm concerned that social media is spreading things, exaggerating things in a way that shouldn't happen. For example, and this happens with an earthquake. It was considered an earthquake. It was 6.5 in the Richter scale. But what about other things like criminality, poverty, politics? There are many things being spread all around, and we're all sharing, immediately sharing, without talking to local people, without watching, investigating a little bit more. So we have to be very careful about what we read, what we see, what we share. Look at all of this street, how it is. This was the structure affected by the earthquake. Here where one person died, may he rest in peace. Also, this structure was affected. One part of the wall fell apart. This is on the same street. That is the house whose external top fell. That is the Cathedral of Cuenca, one of the domes. That is all I wanted to share today. Something very brief, as I told you, but I'm concerned how in this era of likes, views, engagement, social media, everything that brings more attention, that brings more likes, is being spread like a deadly virus, and we're just being infected by this. So we have to be careful. And this is something affecting even local politics. And I know people that listen to me, that watch me from the US, you know how social media is affecting the lives of many, especially in the political aspect. But okay, for the moment, I won't say anything else. I hope that this video has called you to reflection a little bit, because we have to be very careful. Many things are coming. Deep fakes are more advanced, plagiarism, ChatGPT. You will be seeing many fake things that will look very real. So be careful. That's all I would like to say for today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for following.